Good evening, everybody. It is a Thursday, April 10th. This is my week 9 dealing with Bootstrap. I decided to make something about a computer repair shop, go a little further than I did in week 8, and just trying to do some bootstrapping and which is an improvement of just plain CSS. Has its own system and functionality and so forth. So I want to go through with this with you. First of all, in the index HTML, under the body class, I made the background info, which is a representation of a green color, a shade of green. So, and then after that, I went in and made the class um, the navbar brand um, and the text called warning, which is a anchor called computer shop, is the color goldenrod. So it shows that it is a goldenrod color of that text. Um, I've also did the same thing. Most of my text are goldenrod, or in this case would be um text warning. So that's another color that I use, which was mostly for my text is goldenrod, which is text warning. But for my background, for the body of all 3 pages, for service for the service prices HTML, I use body info for that, and that's a shade of green. And it's the same thing as again, I did the same thing with the text warning and used goldenrod for my text. Whether it's home, services and pricing or context. I also did it with services offered, and then I went down under with the services. With I have a table down here. I used a bunch of text warning, which is yellow. I use yellow for these classes. For the text headers, I use yellow, a type of yellow goldenrod color, which is text warning. So the text is a goldenrod color, and it represents like service, description, price. And then for the remaining of the data date, for the rest, the table datas are info. It's called table info. So the color of the the table data is like the hardware diagnostics, identity and diagnose hardware issues in your computer and $50, all that kind of stuff. That is also uh, is a type of shaded green color because info represents a shaded green color in Bootstrap. So I made those all green. Um, and or at least made the cells green a little bit. I think that's the case. Let me look. Okay, let me bring this up. That is my computer that I created that I volunteered to help and fix up. It's a computer that I did for a customer, and I still have the anchors and everything, so the anchors work. It can go to the next page, which is the services prices.html, and that's where the colors, these info colors, are actually the kind of like light greenish color. It's like a sea foam or a teal or something. Um, but when you hover over them, they change to a little darker color. But they are very you can hover over these data table cells, but you can't do it to the header because it's not assigned to that. but it's a pretty neat feature. But I made my headings or my text is this goldenrod, which is the thing called warning, text warning or background warning or anything. You can name anything. I made it that way. I did it also in the navigation bar. I made it all goldenrod, text warning. Made him work like that. Um, and the other thing I did in the form, I actually did columns and rows. With there's two rows in this particular place for the columns. So in this case, if I go here, there's six columns out of 12 that are being used. That's when the screen is equal or greater than 768 pixels, which is like a medium-sized screen. Um, so that's not bad at all. But I did that for my form, and then I have two rows. One, the first row contains the first name and the last name, and I made that text color text warning, which is a goldenrod color again. And then I did a second row for the email and the phone, and for email and phone, and they are also the text warning. They're all gold. The text color is goldenrod, which is text warning. And also for these two, I made a column of medium for six. So six columns out of 12, which the screen size is equal or greater to 768 pixels. So that's like a medium-sized screen. So medium-sized screen and up a little bit until you reach and let you reach up to 992 pixels, then that's a little larger. So and then I did the same thing down here with the message. I did add a text warning as a color goldenrod for the label called message. But I want to show you what I did here on the stuff that's on the browser. The first thing I did, let's go back to home. If I shrink this, minimize this, it shrinks it down. If I bring it back up, it goes like this. It spreads out. If I bring it down and spread it out, this picture shrinks and the navigation bar doesn't disappear. It just hides under three horizontal bar lines. And you can still select your links in there. You still select the links in there and still have the pages working. If I bring this back up with the contact.html, if I spread it out, it goes back to two rows, and then the message is the message. So it's six columns, each one is six columns. So it's adding up to 12 altogether. But if I bring it and shred it, and not shred it, but shift it down, they're all stacked on top of each other. So that actually works. And if I do the same thing with sales and pricing, I get the same thing too. It shrinks down to the size where it could be under a phone, or maybe a small tablet, or maybe a netbook, for all I know. But it stacks, it kind of shrinks itself. It doesn't really stack. I don't know if it's really stacks, but it shrinks a little bit. But the data is still there. So it's stacking on top of each other. It's not horizontally stretched out. It stacks vertically. So it works out good. But that's what I wanted to show you on my project. And I hope you enjoyed it. and hopefully I get a thumbs up or maybe a view out of it. That would be nice. I would appreciate it. But thank you very much. I hope you have a good evening.